After 4 weeks into the Bears season, one thing is evidently clear. In fact, it was probably clear after week 2 or week 3. And that is the Chicago Bears need to fire Matt Eberflus. They absolutely need to fire this man. He is way in over his head. And I'll explain all the reasons why that is the case. And I'll also talk about if they actually will fire him and when that would take place. So let's talk about it, people. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking, of course, I'm NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears and here to talk about Matt Eberflus, who is, to me, the worst head coach in Bears history. Let me repeat that. Matt Eberflus, to me, is the worst head coach in Bears history. He does not do anything and bring anything to the table at a competent level. You can give me Nagy, you can give me Tressman, you can even give me John Fox, and I'll take all of those guys over Eberflus. Not saying those guys were great, but Eberflus is bottom of the barrel, folks. Let's just take a look at the numbers. 3-18 as the Bears head coach, worst winning percentage of all time. Coaches have a way to elevate their teams and players even when the talent is not great. And I know the talent has not been great in Eberflus's tenure here in Chicago. But man, oh man, coaching in the NFL is one of the only sports where it has so much of an impact regardless of players. Where you can just coach certain games and win those. Eberflus can't do that. So 3-18 as the Bears head coach, worst winning percentage of a Bears coach of all time. By far. Not even close. Also, here's another stat for you. 14 straight games the Chicago Bears defense has given up 25 plus points. 14 straight games. Oh, and they've also lost 14 straight games. We haven't won in a calendar year. That's some numbers for you right there for Matt Eberflus. And that's just the numbers. We haven't even talked about the fact that he's got terrible clock management. He's got terrible execution, terrible game plan. Can't coach defense. Can't get a competent defense to be out there. Can't get anything right. Can't hire the right people. Can't develop a quarterback. Can't do anything right. What does he bring to the table? That's what I would ask you. What does Eberflus bring to the table? I actually don't think any Bears fan or any sound, logical Bears fan is going to disagree with me on this. I think 99.9% of us want him gone. And again, saying the sound, logical Bears fans, they want him gone because they know Eberflus is not the right guy here. Now the question becomes, hey, when is it going to take place? Well, let's just be realistic about this, folks. I'd love for him to be fired immediately. He should have been fired after that game for the way, they lost that game against the Broncos, beating up so much. But realistically speaking, folks, he's not going to get fired on a short week here when we got the Commanders on Thursday Night Football. But then after that, if you're 0-5, is there a scenario where you can see Eberflus getting fired? I still doubt it, but Poles and Kevin Warren and these guys need to understand that, and Ryan Poles specifically, if they want to save anything from the season, like salvage the season at all, and maybe pull off something like the Lions did last year where they started 1-6 and almost made the playoffs, if they want to build on anything this season and not let it be a complete and utter and total waste, they need to fire Eberflus as soon as possible. So yeah, there is a non-zero chance I see it happening after Thursday night if the Bears lose that game and they go to 0-5. But even if they don't fire him after that, I think there are scenarios here where if they go 0-8, 0-10, they start getting blown out. I think it happens. Most likely, folks, it doesn't happen until the end of the season because that's what the Bears do, right? That is what, the Bears are all about. They never fire a coach in season. The argument I always hear is, okay, Faiz, if you fire him, who's the replacement? Who cares? Anyone's better than him. I'm worried about a replacement when the man hasn't won a game in 14, when the man has lost his last 14 games. I don't give a damn about his replacement at this point. Whoever the interim is, the wide receivers coach, Ty Tolbert, I don't care. Anybody is better than Eberflus at this point. What am I gaining with him? Nothing. So I'm not losing anything when I lose him. I don't care about the replacement, folks. Put anyone there. And at worst, they're going to do the same job as Eberflus, which is losing football games. The man is way in over his head. I haven't even talked about how he botched the Chase Claypool situation. That was his latest miscue. But yeah, I don't care about the replacement. Get any interim in here. We'll find our next head coach in the offseason. My goodness. So yeah, as far as when he will get fired, I mean, I would do it if I was Ryan Poles, if they lose to the Commanders and dropped 0-5. And I think there is a chance, like I said, a non-zero chance that happens. Otherwise, it's probably going to be the end of the season for us because that's just how they do things here in Chicago. They're just going to wait till the end of the season before we fire him. But they honestly should do it before that. Maybe there's a scenario they do it when if they're 0-8 or 0-10. But at that point, it's too late, right? Like, you got to make a change to be able to save the season. At some point, too early turns into too late. You keep thinking, oh, it's only 3, 4, 5 games, and boom, you're at 10, 11, 12. So Ryan Poles, you handpicked this man, Matt Eberflus. If you want, you're going to go down with him. But if you want to save your job and you want to have any sort of credibility with Bears fans and any sort of stability with this organization, you fire him, don't double down on your mistake, and you go ahead and you hire a new head coach. The ball is in your court, Ryan Poles. Let's see what you do. Let me know what you guys think, man. Leave a comment down below as always.